Ben Fong-Torres, you guys. We are so proud of you in your entire journey. Tell us about the film and your revolutionary activities just from printing the stories that no one else would print.
I'm not so sure that that was the case, but this is a story of a guy who is part of a family of five, all born and raised in Oakland, to immigrant Chinese parents who came over with dreams in the Golden Mountain, Gumsan, and raised a family. They worked us hard, they taught us hard. It was a misbalanced life in terms of not being able to do things that normal American kids would do. We were at the restaurant every night, combining chores with homework, going to Chinese school. And so some of us kind of broke away from it. I think I did, to become a writer and editor at Rolling Stone, and then become a disc jockey on KSAN. So that's her story. Is a kind of a zigzag of my career, but also the background and ultimately what it meant to society to have Rolling Stone chronicling the cataclysmic changes that were going on in this country 40, 50 years ago. And we were in San Francisco at the center of it, covering it.
And it was before the internet, so we had to wait on what you guys print.
Well, I suppose so. We all waited
Yes.
for each other. So it's a remarkable achievement on Suzanne Joe Kai's part. And I'm very happy to have been part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oakland proud.
Great. Wonderful. I'm so glad.
I was blown away by it. I'd heard of Ben Fong-Torres when I was younger, but I never knew all of that background. How did you connect it with the film?
How did I get
Your idea.
I it was just an innocent idea. I said, Ben, you're in many rock and roll documentaries. Why isn't there one about you? And then he said, well, why don't you just do one? And I said, okay. So I immediately thought, okay, so that was something that it would be Ben is in the center, surrounded by all these really cool rock stars and Rolling Stone magazine. And then I started to do the research. And then in the research, I was interviewing the insiders. It's not in any books or films. And then I came away and says, this is much more profound, much more profound. And so I decided it became a mission, to get it, it's stitched together accurately because you're talking about people's memories and all that kind of stuff. And I stitched together factually and everything. And I'm really happy so far with the results.
And I just when we interviewed him, I talked about the revolutionary stuff he would write about. It wasn't just music, but revolution, writing about it through music.
Exactly.
How was that for you? I mean, getting all that footage and just watching it, saying, "Oh my goodness, he was part of the war on civil rights. He was part of the civil rights movement."
That was a moment in time, the 60s and early 70s, that young people were coming together. And the spark was at UC Berkeley, the free speech movement, and it spread instantly to San Francisco State, where Ben was the managing editor of the college newspaper. It just like blew all across San Francisco Bay Area, and then it blew all across America and then worldwide. And it went on for years into the early 70s. So we followed that trajectory. And no, we didn't want it to be like another, revolutionary documentary. We wanted it to be about Ben and then weaving in why, and how and all of that. So I hope we succeeded.
You did, because we would wait for the magazine to come out because this was before internet. So you had to wait and you had to read. Tell us a little bit about how he met his wife, Diane.
That is a beautiful, beautiful story. And I'm going to share that when we get a distributor and it goes wide so everyone else can share. It's an absolutely beautiful story.
It's incredible. I said, oh my goodness. Go ahead. And there are a couple of touching scenes in there. We won't talk about it, but what would you take away personally in your heart from getting this film together?
I felt that a part of American history is missing, very much so. And then I started to say, not only part of American history, but it affects all of us. And for the very first time, I was given permission to show the first 5 minutes. After 12 years, maybe 2 years ago, we've been in foxholes for all these years, quiet, quiet, quiet. And I showed 5 minutes at a gala in San Francisco. And I was standing outside, and then people would be coming out and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know Ben Fong-Torres. Had I known him, my life could have changed for the better. So we are missing our own role models. And I'm not saying just because we're Asian American, you could be white, you could be black, you could be, Chicano, Latino. We are missing more. We need more inspiring role models.
Yeah, but when he interviewed black artists, I mean Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, he was part. As I said, he was been you part of the civil rights movement. You didn't even know it.
Exactly. That was a moment in time that the words, the lyrics of the music were written by people who were trying to save the world. They didn't know how. They didn't, so they said, I'm going to do it through music. I'm going to write and perform, and hopefully that our message will get out to help save the world. And Ben was right there as the music editor of Rolling Stone magazine. He was like center of everything.
Yes, folks. Let me just look. We have more similarities than differences.
We do. We do.
We do.
And all I hope is that people will come see the film and will see a human being named Ben Fong-Torres, and they'll get to like him. I don't know anyone that doesn't like him. So, and then that'll help in our film bridge people coming back together.
You got me. You got me, Susan. Thank you so much.